Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the videos, another paid request, this time for Ronald. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it. It could be a tier list, commentary, reaction, whatever it may be. Either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, Ronald wanted me to talk about what are my top 10 favorite action scenes from the John Wick films. Which is ironic because there's a few people that say I've never been a fan, I'm a fake fan. Even though I have reviews on the channel of the first three from years and years ago where literally the thumbnails me going, or hey, this is my favorite film of the year. Now, before I start, there will be spoilers for the John Wick films, of course, including John Wick 4. So if you don't want spoilers for John Wick 4, be warned, because I will be doing that throughout this, because if I'm talking about the films, I'll also be comparing and stuff. So again, if you don't want spoilers for John Wick 4, feel free to watch this until after you see the film. And I realize most of these are from the second movie, although there's a good chunk from the third film as well. Like, I'll go from number 1 to number 10. Number 1, my favorite, is the Continental Siege at the end of John Wick Chapter 3. The people with the body armor, and Lance Reddick gets involved, which was a nice detail to put into there. And John Wick, I love the shotgun, I love the weapon, the shotgun, I love when it's utilized in movies. And just a shotgun jamboree, and the way he's having to deal with these people in body armor and block and get in there, and then using the shotgun, and that whole Continental Siege, which is funny because one of the bits was to protect the hotel, obviously for John to survive as well, and both are kind of pointless because by the fourth film, once it just gets, doesn't the hotel get decimated, or at least the guy says get everyone out, and Winston, you're no longer, and doesn't Winston get then a new hotel in New York anyway? I'm like, so much for protecting that, and so much for John living, since people love the ending of John Wick 4 so much. To each their own. But yeah, I love the intensity, I love the way the lighting is in that sequence, and which they redid in the fourth film, which to me, to a lesser extent, I love the way how John Wick has to deal with people who has body armor. He's got to keep doing it, and balls are bouncing, he's got to get in these little crevices in the neck and such to kill them, using them as protection. Really spot on choreography. Again, shotgun fun, which I'm a sucker for. And again, like I was saying, it was nice to see Lance Reddick get involved, because we had seen him in the first two films, and we realized, yes, he can kick ass, he can take names, he can hold his own, and that was nice to see. That was nice to take that character for the first film and add more to him. Which, yes, I'm sorry, I will keep honing in on why the various reasons I did not like John Wick 4. They didn't do that with any of the characters. They didn't do that with, here at least with Lance Reddick, something physical for him to do. They didn't do that with any of the previous characters in John Wick 4. They didn't do it with Lawrence Fishburne. They didn't follow up with the whole, he's pissed off because he got all these slashes in part 3, so he's going to get revenge. No, he's going to sit there or stand there to give exposition 3 times to John. That's all he did. Or that girl with the Vulcan haircut who just disappears. Or the fact that I thought the whole gist of it was, we're going to destroy the high-end table. We're going to destroy them. No, at the end of John Wick 4, the high-end table's still there. Still doing fine. Still okie dokie. They're still going around. The high-end table really didn't get stopped. Didn't really get messed up. Even the beginning of John Wick 4. Oh, I'm going to get my wife's ring. But he never does. And he never does get his wife's ring. By the end of the movie, he never even gets his wife's ring. So what was the point of the whole opening? He didn't even shoot the guy that was in John Wick 3. He shot another guy in the desert. He even goes, it's not me. That was another guy. So John Wick went to get a ring that wasn't there and shoot a guy that he never met before. So what was the point of the opening of the third movie? I mean, the fourth movie, I mean. What was the point of the fourth movie's opening, if that's the case? I'm going to kill a guy who had nothing to do with me before, and was the guy in the third film. I'm going to get a ring that I don't get. Even by the end of the film, I never get. So what was the fucking point? We're going to, by the third, you're pissed off, we're going to destroy the high-end table. Nope, they're still around, so we can get 15 fucking spin-offs. But no one else is mentioning that. Whatever. Anyway, I love the Continental Siege in the first movie again. Number 2, I put the Mirror's finale in John Wick 2. I love the way they set that up. I love the location. I love the way the art design, I should say. Not location, but the art design. The way they made this look with everywhere they looked with mirrors, and how hard that must have been to shoot and not have the cameras reflected, and it's just a glorious looking finale. Where it'd be the fight with Ruby Rose, or crashing through mirrors to fight this guy, and just a great kaleidoscope of visuals. Like, that was such a memorable ending with how they set all that up. That is a visual feast for the eyes for me. Not a fucking staircase they stole from The Exorcist. Like, you went from this cool mirror stuff to the cool glass stuff in the third, which, let's see, did I put that on here? No, but, because I could make like a top 20. Because that's how much I liked in the first 3 movies. But it's, really do like that. So here's some stairs. Donkey Wick. Number 3, the Tunnels of Blood in John Wick Chapter 2. I love the idea that he had all these weapons set up when he goes back. I love how claustrophobic everything looks, and how with John Wick, with enough planning and pre-planning, he's able to get this done. We're following him. We're close enough for the intense action, but not too close to get too confusing, and not too far away, like that fucking dragon breath scene, which, no, I did not know that was a real weapon. I know now, because enough people told me. Thank you for that. I do appreciate it. But no, I don't follow that stuff. I don't play Call of Duty, whatever games people mention. I don't play that stuff. Okay, cool, that's a real weapon. There's still a lot of CGI work in that. Here, it's, shotgun, boom, 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 boom. Just, I love the way it was choreographed. How to use these tunnels, and the lighting, and the stuff like he holding the guy down and shoots the guy there, and now he's got to disarm this guy. How to use that within the confines of this claustrophobic tunnel system, where he's just annihilating everybody. That was a exciting bit in that movie. I remember seeing it in the theater and getting my blood pumped for it. Number 4, the assassin montage in John Wick Chapter 2. Where you have each of these assassins, and you have the pencil. You finally get to see the pencil, him killing people with the pencil. And the subway system. The big guy, how he's got to fight him differently from this other lady who's an assassin. And each of the different tactics he has to use. Variety. Okay, I gotta use pencils and stuff here. I gotta fight this big guy a different way. I gotta fight this lady a different way. I like the variety in that sequence. That made it fun. Number 5, and I know this is pushing the reality factor quite a bit, I know, but I thought it was on the line, as shaky as it was. I love the motorcycle sword fight in John Wick 3. And as ridiculous as it is, I did enjoy the way that was shot. I enjoyed the way that looked. I enjoyed the way that all the motorcycles behind him and how he's got to do this and how the camera's not cutting. Some people could easily say that went over the line. For me, that was on the line. And again, for me, John Wick 4 went over the line. But I thought that was such a exciting sequence that I'd never seen before. Okay, now he's getting to use swords. Now he's getting to use a battle on a motorcycle. Getting a bit of variety. Felt different, felt unique, especially to that film. And really got my blood pumping. Number 6. Speaking of John Wick 3, the opening of the film, which I think is a much stronger, more exciting opening than John Wick 4, where he's trying to escape and these people coming out of the woodwork, whether it be the book and killing him with the book, or the knives. There's all these knives and they're throwing back and forth. He just keeps throwing knives at the guy, and the thing with the guy's eyeball getting in there. Visceral, entertaining sequence. What a great way to start off your movie. And I would say of that opening, the knife portion was my favorite part. Number 7, I'm going to put the Red Circle nightclub in John Wick 1. Down and dirty. I love the look of the club. This is the first time. You didn't need to repeat it all the time to have John in a club, but the music in the background worked well. The usage of slow-mo, him being efficient, especially when you have that scene where he's going in the back and we see him enter through the door and the camera's pulled back. It's like, just see him going on a tear and just people come in the woodwork, and we've seen instances of him doing his work, but this is the real. And the next time I'm going to bring up John's house. But this is the first full, much longer instance where we're seeing John just in his element. This is what he can do. How he can disarm someone. How he can hold someone at bay. And all they can do, rush the guy, reload. They can't do anything about it. Pop. And at least number 8, John Wick's house in John Wick 1. The very first time that we see him and what he's capable of. It's short, it's quick, but it's efficient. Throwing people through windows. Have the guy up and doing that punch where he breaks the guy's neck. When you first see that, you go, oh shit, okay, this film is on a different level. This film is on a little bit of a different level. Okay then, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Okay then. You taking me on this ride, movie? I'm very curious now. I was curious before, now I'm even more curious now. Number 9, for people who think I'm not fair, I put the Nunchucks scene in John Wick 4. I said that was the one scene in John Wick 4 that I really did like. I'm a sucker for nunchucks. Yes, it was going on pretty long, but it was neat. I wish that scene was in John Wick 3 instead. I will admit. If there was a way to put that nunchuck scene in John Wick 3, man, it would have been glorious. Maybe, like, if you put that nunchuck scene somewhere, I don't know, in the middle, maybe before he gets to Halle Berry. Maybe in between the opening and when he gets to Halle Berry, maybe put that nunchuck scene in there. Would have been glorious. I would love that. I would have loved that. But I love the nunchuck scene. I do. I do like it quite a bit. I'm okay. A little bit different variety. How he uses disarm people, or hit people, or smack people, and that's the type of action I look more towards in John Wick, not him playing Frogger with a bunch of people on busy streets, or yeah, that gun may be real, but it looks like it's shooting the fucking shit from Constantine. So it looked more like a Marvel comic book movie, that scene, than John Wick. That's just how I take it. Just all the CGI fire and people on CGI fire a bit. This Nunchuck scene was to be the scene that reminded me of the first three John Wick films. If there's any action scene that reminded me of the first three John Wick films, it was that Nunchuck scene. And number 10, more of a subtle scene, the subway silence, as it's called, where John Wick and Common, they look at each other. And that's the thing, like, John Wick 4 to me didn't have scenes like this, where in John Wick 2, they both see each other, but they both puppet at each other, and they try to be nonchalant so no one can see, but they try to be subtle, but they keep taking potchas at each other in this crowded subway, and then, of course, they're getting less and less subtle. There's none of that quirky entertainment compared to the tracker guy in John Wick 4. Sorry, I don't count any of his dog pissing on a dead guy's head. If I added more, I would add easily the glass finale. I would add the fight he has with Mark Dacascos. I would add the club scene in John Wick 2 before he goes to the tunnels, the museum, and the finale was pop, 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 pop. In John Wick 1, after he burns the money in the vault, he has that weapon here. Even a little bit with that one, looks like a shotgun after he fights Daniel Bernhardt. As simple, as efficient as it could be. But yeah, I mean, there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4 from part 2. And then 1, 2, 3 from part 3. 2 from part 1, and 1 from part 4. Then the Continental Siege shotgun bit in part 3. The Mirror's finale in part 2. The Tunnel of Blood scene in part 2. The assassin montage with the pencil trick in part 2. The motorcycle sword bit in part 3. The knives bit in part 3. The Red Circle nightclub. Just it's little moments like when he's looking at the guy who killed his dog, and he's staring at him, and he shoots the guy, but he's staring him down. Like, moments like that really make scenes like that work. Where he's staring at him, but he shoots the guy, as in, this is what you're gonna be. So you see this guy, but he doesn't have to say it. Like, speaking without speaking, that type of stuff. Then, the attack at John's house in the first movie, which has a great ending with the cop. Hey, Jimmy. Just some work. See, that's humor that worked well. Not Scott Adkins auditioning for the new Dick Tracy movie. And then the nunchuck scene, for those who think I'm being unfair, I put the nunchuck scene number 9, and the subway, I think that's a different way of doing an action scene, in part 2. And there you go. So yes, I am a huge fan of the John Wick films. I just thought the 4th film, in my opinion, sucked. I thought it was too long. I do not care for the ending. No matter how people want to put into it with their deep themes by Jack Handy about it. I don't care for the supporting characters. I don't care about how the characters were not utilized before. You don't have Common come back. You don't have John Leguizamo come back. You don't have David Patrick Kelly come back. You don't have Halle Berry. Apparently, they said, people have said, she said no. Well, I mean, if you give her a decent enough strip, then maybe she would have said yes. She said yes to Moonfall, and that movie was a piece of shit. If she's willing to say Moonfall was a piece of shit, I don't know. I think you twist her arm a little bit. Like, come on, Halle Berry, you were in Moonfall. Where fucking Moon was a fucking machine. That movie sucked. But anyway, going off tangent. Thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.